I never thought I'd see the day where Tyler Perry was in trouble. And not in trouble in the childish-like way. No. This is more serious. Trouble as in with the law. Trouble as in allegations, accusations, lawsuits. Yeah, that type of trouble. Now, it has come out that Tyler Perry is being sued by one of his ex-actors who he employed to act on some of his shows. I believe he was on the show Oval, which I've never watched before, 80 times, and he ended up being taken off of the show. His character was actually assassinated on the show. And so he has come out to say that Tyler Perry was making sexual advancements towards him, and when he did not oblige, Tyler Perry then used his power, his influence, to basically curb his career. Did that really happen? We don't know. But I guarantee you, if they go through with this lawsuit, then we will definitely find out. But before we continue with the video, I need y'all to do 3 things for me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share this video so someone else can do the very same thing. And if they don't, then we're going to send dialogue after them. We're going to get into none other than Umar Johnson, who decides to include his opinion on the Tyler Perry situation and what's going on with Tyler Perry. Now, you have to know that I used to be a big Tyler Perry fan. I'm not even going to lie. I love the Madea shows. I enjoyed the Madea shows when they first came out, even the plays. But after a while, it got old, like most things. It really did. Not to mention the movies were okay. Like, once you've seen one trick at the pony show, you've seen them all. And that's exactly what Madea became to me, and I stopped watching. And then I started to see a certain level of influence that he had on certain people as far as the black community and black women. And the movies that he was creating, they were painting black men in a negative light. And a lot of people are going to say, no, he's not just anything. That's exactly what he's been doing. Go back to all of his body of work and look at most of the films that he made, even the plays, when it pertains to a black man. Yeah, look at it and tell me what you see. You will see the same narrative being pushed over and over again. That's not to say that other producers do not do the same thing. But this is a man who says that he employs black people and he helps the black community. He has made more millionaires than any other studio out in California. Well, we need to know what the truth is. And hopefully, Umar Johnson can shed a little light on that.
Tyler Perry, how you feel about the allegations he being accused of?
We got to deal with Tyler. We got to deal with Tyler. When you talk about the jealousy that the music industry has for black men, it's insane, bro. It's insane. Tyler Perry goes to the BET Awards. He gives a speech, and he's an excellent orator, by the way. I'm an orator. I study oratory. Tyler Perry could have been a pastor or a community activist. He's a very good speaker, very good public speaker. He says that I've made more millionaires than every other studio in this city combined. That's what he said. And don't you know, I don't know if it was the next day, but it was definitely the same week. All of a sudden, he gets hit with a $260 million lawsuit from Derek Dixon, who met Tyler Perry in 2019 as an employee of an event company. So he was working at one of the events that Tyler Perry contracted this event company to come to and host. He met Tyler Perry there. Tyler Perry invited him to audition for an upcoming show called Ruthless. Later on, Tyler Perry tells him, allegedly, according to Derek Dixon's attorney, Tyler Perry told him, I can change your life. Stick with me, I could change your whole life. He then invites him to audition for a role on The Oval. Tyler Perry series The Oval. Derek Dixon stars in 85 episodes of The Oval between 2020 or 2021 until 2024, 2025. In January of 2020, Art, right before COVID, Tyler Perry allegedly texts Derek Dixon and says, among other things, I can't remember the last time I had really good sex. Now, as a heterosexual male, if another man sends me a text telling me he can't remember the last time he had good sex, I already know that ain't somebody I need to be around alone, because he clearly got the wrong idea about me. In fact, I'm gonna have to let him know. In the future, fam, I don't need to know about your sex life. So Tyler Perry texts him this. He can't remember the last time he had great sex. And then he invites Derek Dixon to his house. Derek Dixon goes to Tyler Perry's house in Georgia. He says, allegedly, according to the criminal complaint or the civil suit, he says Tyler Perry gave him some drinks. They were talking. He started to feel a little tipsy. It got late. Tyler Perry tells Derek, it's a little too late for you to drive home tonight. You've been drinking. I have a guest bedroom. Come and stay in my guest bedroom. Derek Dixon goes to the guest bedroom. He's tired. He's been drinking. He's ready to get some sleep. He says he lays down. And at some point, Tyler Perry comes into his room, slips into the bed behind him, and start rubbing the inside of his thigh. Now, Art, he don't leave. He don't punch him. He don't get dressed and call a Uber or get in his car and get up out of there. In fact, he goes back to work like nothing happened. You could have sued him right there. But he says, and this is where I think Tyler Perry has some room to stand and defend himself. Derek repeatedly alleges that he was concerned about his job and his career. Well, if you're concerned about your job and your career, and this black man is sexually harassing you, why not turn him in? Why isn't your manhood or your self-respect, even if you're homosexual, if this man is sexually assaulting you, because you can be sexually assaulted as a homosexual as well, why not turn him in? Why are you saying I put up with it for the sake of the job?
The same reason why some women did not do the same thing. You have to understand something. There's different reasons as to why people do certain things. And one of them is that they fear for losing their jobs. You think about this now. People are willing to do anything for money. People are willing to do anything for money. And so if getting groped around here and there means that they can get to the bag, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to try to keep up with it. They're going to try to put up with it. But until it runs thin. Once it runs thin and that person realizes it, whoever the accuser is, once it starts running thin and you get tired of what they're doing, then guess what? Then they start to railroad your career. And that's what a lot of these people fear. They would rather get the bag than hold their own dignity together.
To me, you are collaborating and voluntarily participating in this, because you could have ended this a long time ago. So anyway, Art, he says that Tyler Perry, throughout this whole relationship of 2020 to 2024, is grabbing his butt cheeks. He says one day Tyler Perry comes into his trailer, grabs him violently by the neck, grabs his butt. Then he says a couple months later, there was another incident. Then the following year, in June of 2021, he says Tyler Perry pulled his underwear down, Art. Help me out. Help me out. if this man allegedly pulled your underwear down and grabbed your ass cheeks, why are you not going to a lawyer or going to the police? This man is a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Why are you hanging around? He says Tyler Perry coerced him, Art. Coerced him into accepting the sexual exploitation because Tyler Perry promised him his own show. Tyler Perry promised him career advancement. He allegedly, Tyler Perry was going to provide him with career advancement opportunities. So he says he felt like he had to endure this sexual harassment so it wouldn't mess up his options. As far as I'm concerned, that means you volunteered for it. You volunteered for it. You were willing to accept it because you thought you would get something out of it. Then he says, Art, around June of 2024, Derek Dixon comes to his senses and he decides that Tyler Perry has been lying to me this entire 4.5-year relationship. He's been lying. From 2020 to June of 2021, that's 4.5. He's been lying. So he says once he came to his realization that he'd been lying, he decided to stop showing up for work. He said Tyler Perry told him he had to take an unpaid medical leave. That's when he got with his lawyer, and that's when he decided to sue. Here's where I'm at. Same mistake as Smokey, same mistake as Shannon. Tyler Perry wasn't taking care of him. Allegedly, Art, because Tyler Perry has not admitted to being bisexual. He has not admitted to any of these crimes. So I'm saying allegedly. If what this man is saying is true, Tyler Perry made the same mistake as Smokey Robinson, Shannon Sharpe, and so many other black men dating non-black people. You didn't take care of him. From what I read, Art, he was being paid $10,000 an episode. And then when he got upset with Tyler Perry, allegedly, he went up to $15,000 an episode or maybe $25,000 an episode. However that go, don't quote me. But initially, he was only getting about 10 grand. Here we go again, Art. Smokey Robinson. If you want these women to be your girl toys, Tyler Perry, allegedly, if you want Derek Dixon to be your boy toy, $10,000 an episode for a billionaire is not going to cut it. I believe, Art, that Derek Dixon, who claims he never had intercourse with Tyler, that's going to be a big thing, Art, because when I was reading the civil complaint, it doesn't appear that Derek Dixon ever admitted to having any type of relation with Tyler Perry. 4.5 years, I wonder if that's true. Because if Tyler Perry can prove, allegedly, that him and Derek Dixon engaged in any type of consensual sexual exchange, I think this case can be thrown out.
So, yeah, leave it up to Umar Johnson to turn it into a race thing, right? Right. Of course he had to go into Tyler Perry being black and the accuser being white. Yeah, of course he did. But my thing is this. Is there a statute of limitation on sexual assault? I don't know if there is or not. I really don't. If you know, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know if there is a statute of limitation. Are you able to take the advances of someone or the harassment of someone for 5 years, 10 years, be around them for that long, groping you, and then come out 10 years, well, Bill Cosby, I guess I answered my own question. Because they got Bill. They definitely got Bill. What? 20 years later? 30 years later? They got Bill for slipping a little something into, not even into, for slipping a little something to one of his female companions. And then they come out years and years later and complained about him, even though at that time it could have been consensual. We don't know. And Dr. Umar Johnson, of course, goes into saying, well, allegedly, if he was doing allegedly, you wouldn't. Come on, Umar. If you know something, you need to let us know. If you know, because me speaking on something or allegedly speaking on something that someone is allegedly being accused of, as if I know for a fact that it happened, That's asinine, right? Right. Because we don't know if it truly happened or not. But it gets crazy and it gets wild. The situation gets crazy and the situation gets wild because, again, for you to be around. Now, there are some things that Umar Johnson said I do agree with, and I can definitely see, especially you being around this person for this long and they are pulling your pants down, getting in the, wait, they're getting in the same bed with you and you're a heterosexual male. Yeah, something is not right. Something is definitely wrong. That's all I have to say. Something is definitely wrong. But back to what Umar was saying.
I think the argument can be made that you was engaged in consensual relations with Mr. Perry, and because you didn't get what you wanted to out of this 𝐔𝐸𝐬𝐬 and Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3, and Jane Doe 4 for Smokey Robinson, you decided to try to exploit him in the courts for money because you know he's wealthy. So if Tyler can prove that any of this was consensual, I think this case can get thrown out. Why? Because you was around this man for 4.5 years, Art, almost 5 years, and you never did anything about his sexual advancements. Pulling your pants down, grabbing your booty, asking you if you like to be a top or a bottom, asking you about your relations with other men, saying he jealous seeing you around other men. There was too much harassment, allegedly, for you to have not done nothing in nearly 5 years. So if Tyler Perry can prove that they had relations, Art, I think this gets thrown out. Now, if Tyler Perry can't prove that, here's where I stand on this suit. First of all, $260 million is ridiculous. That's number one. But number two, Art, I believe that Derek Dixon would have become Tyler Perry's lover if Tyler Perry gave him what he wanted. If Tyler Perry would have gave him his own show, I think he becomes his lover. Because according to Derek Dixon, Tyler Perry allegedly told him that he wants a male lover who will keep quiet and not become emotionally attached. He claims Tyler Perry told him, I don't have enough time to get emotionally involved in a relationship. So I'm looking for somebody I can smash and dash, who keep their mouth shut and don't get all emotional with me because I ain't got time for that. So basically, he kind of wanted a boy toy. Derek Dixon doesn't seem like he really made it clear to him that he was not going to be that. Here's where I think Tyler Perry messed up. Like I said, he didn't take care of him, Art, but in addition to that, Derek Dixon was not going to be no cheap hoe. He was not going to be no cheap hoe. That's like, Art, you dating a woman and a woman says, you ain't getting these panties until you buy me a car. And you keep trying to get the panties, She said, I'm not giving you no panties until you buy me a car. You buy her the car, you get the panties. If you don't buy the car, you don't get the panties. I simply think Derek Dixon was not a cheap hoe, Art. Tyler Perry didn't keep his end of the bargain, so he never let him smash. He never let him smash, period. Tyler Perry thought he was going to get him before he fulfilled his part of the bargain. Derek Dixon wasn't a cheap hoe. He said, you ain't going to play me cheap. You're going to give me my own show, and if you don't, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep all the text messages. I'm going to keep all the exchange. Just like the Mexicans with Smokey, just like Gabrielle with Shannon, I'm going to keep all the information, Art. And if I don't get my own show, guess what I'm going to do? Run to the lawyers and sue you for $260 million.
Again, leave it up to Umar Johnson to turn it into race. Now, mind you, I know a lot of black women who actually came out years later and accused the man of doing something. To the point where just recently, the young black woman who accused the MLB player, the MLB player of sexual misconduct, guess what? It turned out to be false. It was a lie. And that man still lost. Yeah, he still lost his spot on the baseball team. He still lost his contract. He still lost the game that he so loved. Messed up, right? Right. And so it's not just white women that do this, white women. It's black women too. They do the same thing too. But Umar is going to focus on the non-black people because he panders to black women. We know this. But it's crazy how he broke this down just now. And I actually have to agree with him. That might have been exactly what happened, allegedly. But that could have been exactly what he just described as far as Derek Dixon not wanting to be a cheap hoe and trying to get more for his buck. And when that didn't come through, when that didn't fall through, guess what? To the lawyer. 260 mil, that's a come up. If my man was to get, not to mention, I heard someone else say that for them to take it to court for 260 mil, that actually means they could not come to a conclusion. They could not come to a solution. Yes, they could not come to a solution to pay him a certain amount because they usually negotiate outside of the courts first. And then if you cannot come up with a number, you take it to the court. So that sounds like what's going on. Now, is Dr. Umar factual about all of this? No, he doesn't know. He's basically guessing like everyone else is doing. And we don't actually know what happened except for the two parties involved, Derek Dixon and Tyler Perry. Until next time.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.